Hello, this is D. Marie Love on Keep It Scripted, back with another discussion topic. Now, with the Conjuring 2 coming out tomorrow, I really wanted to talk about this a little bit. Anybody who knows me knows that I am a huge horror movie fan. I have been my whole life since I was a kid. One of the first horror movies I ever saw was Blair Witch Project. And then I saw Sixth Sense like right after that, and I just fell in love with the genre. And I was just a little girl then, and I was able to handle those movies really well. Back then I could watch scary movies all by myself. Now I can barely do that, and I'm an adult. The horror genre has changed over the years, not as consistently good as they used to be. In the 2000s, late 2000s, early 2010s, I started to fear that the horror genre was dying. Now we have people, very talented directors like James Wan, who are attempting to revive it with movies like the Insidious trilogy, Conjuring, those type of movies. In the 2010s, we've had some horror movies come out. We've had the Paranormal Activity franchise, which became huge. It started off as something really small, became huge. Conjuring, Annabelle, a few different possession movies, a lot of found footage film. This really was taken over for a point, and I'm kind of glad that we're moving away from the found footage thing a little bit. Like, we've had some like The Visit that are still doing it. I don't want the shaky cam. I just want to see what the hell is going on. And I feel like it's restricting sometimes the found footage film. And after a certain point in the movie, when people are getting killed, it's like it just doesn't make any kind of sense for this person to still be holding the camera. So, you know, it's all those things. I think people are more geared towards the traditional type of horror. I don't know, let me know what you think. Do you like the found footage thing, or do you prefer traditional? Cabin in the Woods, The Purge, You're Next. So let me just start with the movies I've been least impressed with that have been released over the past 6 years. My least favorite kind of horror movie has always been movies about possession and exorcism. I just don't know what it is about someone being possessed by a demon or a ghost of some sort that just doesn't scare me. I am scared of demons, but a person being possessed is still a person. If you go back towards like the classic slasher flicks, even that is kind of scary. A normal person being able to be truly evil and their goal is to kill you. It seems to me like in possession movies that their goal isn't to like really kill people. It's like person gets possessed, they're talking in a weird voice and they're contorting their bodies in different ways and they're flying around the wall and saying a whole bunch of crazy stuff. But that's not scary. You're not trying to like kill anyone. You're not, I don't know, what is your goal here? I saw The Exorcism a long time ago, but you know, to me it just hasn't been as well done since then, and that was the first time I'd ever seen anything like that. So then to me it was scary, but once you see it over and over again, it just doesn't have the same appeal to me. My friend had me watch The Forest, it was about a month ago, and she had seen this movie already. So I was just a little bit angry with her. You've seen this movie already. Why would you make me waste an hour and a half of my life sitting through this movie? I had been hearing a lot about it when it first came out because there was a whole controversy. It was extremely boring. And that's the worst thing when someone is watching horror movies, for them to be bored. Even if they're not scared, even if they're laughing, you don't want them to be bored. Natalie Dormer is a terrific actress, if anybody else watches Game of Thrones, which I'm sure you do. And she played twins in this movie. Even with that star power and her acting abilities, I just could not be drawn into this movie. I could not get into it. It was just not scary. And the story, the actual story, The Forest, is supposed to be really interesting, but that doesn't come through. When I can't say I was disappointed because I didn't actually have high hopes. It was just a movie me and my friends just went to go see on a whim one day. And we're just like, let's go see The Gallows. Another found footage film set in high school. It was definitely nothing new. Once you see something too many times and they don't bring anything new to the table, it's not going to be received well. We've had movies like Cabin in the Woods that kind of plays up on like horror movie cliches, which you also see in certain video games like Until Dawn, which I loved. I liked Cabin in the Woods. It was kind of like a horror comedy. It had all the horror movie cliches in there, but it still managed to be enjoyable. It just trips me out to like till this day, writers and directors are still using the same movie cliches in all seriousness. You guys know what I'm talking about. You have the person going into the bathroom and they look up and they see someone behind them in the mirror. Something moving by really fast in the background and the person turns around and they don't see anything there. You have the, hello? Is anybody there? Do people really do that in real life? We have the person, usually a female, who calls out a certain person's name when they hear a noise in the house. The person doesn't answer and say, yeah, it's me, but yet they still want to investigate anyway with no type of weapons or anything when you're alone in the house at night. Come on. We have one of the most annoying cheap scare when it's just like a friend jumping in front of the person or the character or the camera going boo or something ridiculous, and it's not really anything supernatural. Hi, Dennis. All these cliches are still being used in 2016, and it's like, are we gonna think of anything new? I understand that you have to have characters do dumb things in order to move the plot forward and in order for the movie to be an hour and a half long, because if everyone's smart and did the smart thing, the movie would be over in about 5 minutes. So I understand, but it's just like, how stupid can they really be? And it's always the person who does the dumbest things that lives the longest. I would never understand. The type of movies I do love. I appreciate a good slasher flick, straight up horror, blood and gore, all that good stuff. But I particularly love movies about ghosts and aliens sometimes, but mostly ghosts. To have something messing with you, something sinister that's messing with you that you can't even see, so it's hard to combat, is very scary. And I thought Insidious is one of my favorite movies to come out in the past 6 years. I thought it was so well done. Let me rephrase this here. I thought the first half of the first Insidious movie was awesome. Once you get to showing, and this is the problem that they had in Sinister 2, which is why I really was disappointed in that movie. Once you get to showing the monster or the ghost or whatever it is too much, it takes away from the fear factor. Now you're allowing the audience to get used to it, so it's just not the same when he appears on screen because you've seen him all this time. Now, in the first half of Insidious, the first Insidious, the red demon guy, whose name I can't remember in the movie, they used him sparingly. They talked about him, and the whole myth around him made it scary, and then he would pop up in a scene or two, and you weren't expecting it, so it scared you. Now, in the second half, when the dad goes into the further after his son, they start showing him a lot. A whole lot. And the more you see this demon or whatever he is, the less scary he becomes and the more ridiculous he starts to look. He just looked like an old man in like red makeup, and he just didn't look scary at all. Some people say he looked like a Star Wars character, and that's not good for trying to put fear into people. It's just they showed him too much. Sinister 2, they did the same thing with Bugle or Mr. Boogie, whatever you want to call him. Sinister, the first Sinister, was very, very creepy. It did have jump scares, but the tone of it is what I think got to people. And they showed the videotapes and the pictures, and it had Bugle. It showed him for like a few seconds, and then it'll cut away, and then, you know, if you think you're about to see him, that's what made it scary, because you think you're about to see him. You don't know when you're going to see him again. Sinister 2, they didn't really go that route. They went to showing him every 5 seconds. Like literally every time a character turned a corner, there he was, and then pretty soon I just wasn't scared anymore. It just didn't have the same effect. I was used to him. I was seeing him. He was just as much of a character as the main 3 adults and the kids. It was just too much. To go back to Insidious, I didn't see Chapter 3 because I saw Chapter 2, and that was the reason why I didn't see Chapter 3. I do still plan on watching it, but I just wasn't in a rush to see it when it came out to the movies. I didn't hate Chapter 2, but it definitely, to me, was just nowhere near as good of a film as the first one. That's just usually what I find with sequels in general, but especially in horror. Paranormal Activity. I remember I was one of the first people in my school to know about this movie, and I was telling everybody about it because I was so excited, and I thought like, okay, it's gonna be like Blair Witch Project, but better, and it's gonna be scary. They was hyping it up as this big scary thing, and I was excited. And then it came out, and I'll be honest, I did like the movie, but I was at no point in that movie was I terrified. And neither was the person that I was with, and she scared everything. In Paranormal Activity, I guess there was two different endings, but the canon ending is Katie killing her boyfriend Mika and then disappearing. Now, the following Paranormal Activity is about her sister, and it's supposed to be in the same timeline as everything that was going on in the first movie. And at the end of the movie, Katie comes and kidnaps Hunter, her sister's son. And then there's number 3, which is a prequel, so it's Katie and her sister as kids. And then there's the 4th movie, and then Katie is back. She has this whole other little boy who's not even Hunter. Where did this kid come from? How did she kidnap Hunter? How did he end up getting adopted by a whole other family? Did she bring him to an adoption agent? Like, how did this happen? And who is this other little boy that she's with? And it just, there were so many plot holes and questions to be answered that still haven't been answered. I don't know how many more Paranormal Activity movies they're going to make, and I don't know how many more I'm going to care about. Probably none. I didn't see the last one, the marked ones. I didn't even bother to go see that because I knew it wasn't going to be answering any of the questions that I had. It was just going to be more of the same. This is something that's been done a couple times, but I think this is the only movie to do it in recent years. Annabelle. Annabelle had a small part in the first Conjuring movie, and they gave her an entire movie. Disappointed. Dolls that can move and do poltergeist type things are scary. They're creepy. Nobody likes a creepy looking doll like this. Nobody in their right mind would want this doll in their house, whether it came alive or not. So if it did come alive, that should be just freaky as hell. Conjuring was good. It was scary. Until, for me, it got to the whole possession exorcism thing, as I've already said. I'm not into it. Everything leading up to that point was pretty creepy. My favorite scene in the movie is the hide and clap scene. And not the first one. I know if you've seen it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. When the mom thinks she's playing hide and clap with her daughter. So she hears the clapping and she's following it. And then you just see like these gross ghost hands come out of the closet or whatever, and they clap. And I'm just like, oh, that's so creepy. Coming around for the sequel, it's a sequel. So I don't want to have high hopes for The Conjuring 2. I can't remember the last time I was actually really, really happy with the sequel to a horror movie that I loved. One of my favorite horror movies of all time, Halloween. Even the sequels to me never compare to the original. If something works for the first movie, then keep that in the second movie. Keep the spirit of it. You could bring something new to the table, but just don't try to be over the top with it like I think Sinister 2 did. You're going to take away from what made the first movie good. So I'm hoping The Conjuring 2 keeps the spirit of the first Conjuring in those simple but very, very good scares like the hide and clap scene. There's movies that I haven't seen yet. This is going to sound crazy, but I haven't seen any of the Purge movies yet. But there's another one that's coming out, so I'm definitely going to catch up so I can talk about and review the new Purge. I haven't seen It Follows yet. I've heard really good things about that. I actually plan on watching it this week. Like I said, I'm going to be talking about many different topics: books, music, movies, TV shows, everything. Please like this video. Please comment so we can discuss scary movies in the 2010s. If you have any suggestions on something I may not know about and I should watch, please let me know. Please subscribe. It really helps. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you everyone who's been watching all of my previous videos. I know this channel is all over the place. I have just made a new Instagram page, so you can follow me. And I'll be keeping you up to date on what topics I shall be discussing in the future, as long as people want to see them and they want to talk about it. Thanks so much for watching. This is D. Marie Love on Keep It Scripted. Bye-bye.